Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm a software engineer and designer. I make content on my channel about programming, gaming, and design. So in today's video, I'm going to build a very beginner friendly project along with you guys. And the best part is we are actually learning about Material UI, React hooks, conditional rendering, managed state of the application, and much more. So let's jump into the demo part of what we are building in this video so far. So here you can build a very sleek UI of the simple interest calculator. And if we are talking about the functionalities of this calculator, we have an output box here. We can see the total simple interest. And also we have three inputs over here. Like first one is the simple amount, principal amount, and rate of the interest and the time period. And there are two buttons also available. Like if we click on calculate, the an alert box is automatically pops up which says please enter inputs. If we click on OK, so it says please enter the values in the input box. Suppose I'm writing 10,000 over here, okay, and just calculate, and the rate of interest would be 10 and the time period would be 2. Okay, and then when I click on calculate, it automatically calculates the total simple interest. Okay, so also we have another functionalities of this application is like this is the reset button. Okay, if the user click on the reset button, it's automatically refresh the page, or we can say that it's automatically reset the whole values from the output. So that's it. I hope you like this project. If you like this demo, please like it and subscribe, and let's jump into the coding part. So let's create our boilerplate for this application, and I'm using git bash here. And if you you can also use your terminal also, which is inbuilt with your Windows. Okay, so you can use this terminal cmd. If you type in the search box like cmd, you can use this terminal also. Okay, so this is a terminal, you can also use that, but I'm using git bash. So what we have to do is basically for creating this for the boilerplate, what you have to do is basically you have to write npx create react app, and the name of your application would be like here writing like simple interest. Okay, so you can name it whatever you want and just press enter. Make sure you are connected with the internet also. So it's creating now, and I'm pause this video at this moment. Okay, it takes some time. It's depend on the internet speed also. So application installation is completed, and at the last, as you can see that there is a message like happy hacking. So it means that the installation of package is already installed. Okay, so now the next step would be like we are in the desktop. Okay, we are in the desktop. So what we have to do is basically like what we have to jump to this folder. Okay, so we have to jump to this folder, like there is a node public src. So we will talk about it, but later what we have to do is just we have to jump on this folder. So just type cd and si, the name of the two, as you can see, simple. So what we have to do is like I have writing si and press tab. It automatically write for me like simple underscore interest. So I'm in this folder. Okay, so if I type ls, I'm using git bash. If you are using your cmd, then you have to write dir. So I'm here, I'm just jumping to this folder. So basically what I have to type is basically code dot. So whenever you type code dot, you automatically your Visual Studio open. Okay, so as you can see here, your Visual Studio is open now. So there are some of the folders like public folder, node modules, and src also. So if you haven't watched my previous videos, I have already talked about these folders and structures. Okay, so we are basically making our application, and the main focus of this video is basically to make our simple interest application. So I hope till now you don't have any problem. If you face any problem to this point, you can comment in the comment box. Okay, so we are in the folder of src, and let's create or delete some of the files which we are not using in this application. Okay, so like setup test.js we are not using it. Like let's go to the reveal in file explorer. Okay, so you are in the right folder. Suppose we are not using sometime it's not working at all. Okay, so here what I have to do is basically let's this one setup and report vital and also app.test.js. So these three files we don't need anymore. Okay, and also logo.svg. So we have to delete these files. So press delete. Okay, and your so these are the files which we are working on. So what you have to let's clean up some of the codes over here, and we just remove this because we have already deleted this file report vital. Okay, and also just calling the function also. And what you have to do next, just jump to the app.js folder, or not folder. Let's jump into the app.js file, and also just remove this logo from. Okay, we have already deleted that part. Also just remove this header part also. Okay, call it h1 and type your message. So this is our app. Okay, and the next step would be, let's start this application. Let's start. How can we start this application? We are in the right folder, I think. Yes, if you type ls, then there is a node package. Okay, so these are the files over here also. So we can write npm start. Okay, so if you're writing npm start, your application would automatically started. So it takes some time. So I hope you done all the things, like you deleted all the files which is not necessary at all. Also we have cleaning the app.js, and let's see, also we don't need that. Okay, just delete that part. Also let's go to the app.css. Yes, also we don't need that. So as you can see, there is a message comes up, compile successfully, your application is compiled successfully. You can now view simple interest in the browser. So what you have to do is, there are two links available. You can click on these. I'm clicking on first link, like I'm pressing control and click on it. Okay, and our browser, in the browser, as you can see, there is a message. This is our app. Yes, it's working fine, I think. So our message is print successfully. Like suppose I'm writing here hello. Okay, and save it. Yeah, it's working fine. And as you can see, this is in the center. So it is because due to this css. So we don't need any css till now. Okay, so the next step would be, you have to jump to this site, ziontutorial.com. So here, as you can see, I have written so many. As you can see, there are so many projects also available on React. You can practice with these projects also. Okay, so just what you have to do is basically you have to just go to the React.js folder, and I have already building a simple interest calculator using React. Okay, so there are source codes available in it. You can also find the design asset which I have already designed this application. Okay, the simple interest on Figma. So you can by clicking on it, you can jump on Figma file also. Okay, so you can follow it also. Okay, so I hope this would be very helpful for you also. And much more things what you have, there are different type of sections also available. You can follow this documentation, or you can follow along with me and make it this application. Okay, so what we have to do, the next step would be installing the MUI. Okay, so let's jump to MUI type. Okay, MUI, this is the React component library. Okay, we are using this one. So let's jump to this. Okay, let's click on get started. Okay, and just click on installation part. So this is the default. If you are using yarn, you can copy this this command, and if you are using npm, I'm using npm command, so I'm using this. Okay, and just copy, click on copy, and just go to your Visual Studio. Okay, and just go to your new terminal again, and what you have to do is basically just paste it. Okay, so there's an npm install. Okay, I hope it is visible to you. Okay, now it's installing and the installation is completed now. So the next, if this MUI is installing successfully, then our next step would be just following the coding part of this application. Okay, let's start this application again, npm start. Okay, so let's jump into the package.json, which we have already, which type of and which packages we have installed already. So we have installed this MUI. Okay, and React DOM. As you can see, these are the pre-installed with the okay. So we have recently we have installed this MUI material okay package. So let's jump into the next step. So this is the app.css. Okay, what you have to do is basically just copy the whole CSS which I have written for this application. Okay, so just copy it. Okay, we are not the main area of this application is basically the logic part. We are using we mainly focus on this logic part. Okay, so let's jump into this and go to the app.css and paste this CSS so that we don't need anything. Okay, our application started successfully and compiled. So our application is successfully compiled, as you can see. Okay, and we have already installed this package MUI. We have already installed this. Okay, so let's use this and let's make our state for this application. So before making or defining the state of this application, first we have to import useState. Okay, so import useState. Okay, and let's define our state. Okay, like we have to write const num1 and set num1. Okay, useState, and the initial value of num1 would be 0. Okay, so the next state, let's make the another state for the next input. So we have 3 inputs and we have to make 3 state for each input. Okay, so it's just like in a you can see that it's just like in a variable. So we are controlling with these states. So let's make another state for the next input. Okay, so I know it's a little bit confusing, but I'm damn sure you'll understand if you watch the whole video. So num2, set num2. Okay, and just make the initial value of this state would be also 0. Okay, and let's copy this one. Just press shift alt and arrow down, just 3 and num3. Okay, and just the initial value of the this num3 would be the same as usual of the upper use states. And also we have to add the 3 values on the basis of our logic. Okay, so I'm just making like defining the add. We are just defining another state for our application. Okay, so let's add, and there is a set add, and just define the initial value for it, and this would be 0. Okay, I hope you understand till at this point. Okay, the next step would be just let's define our form. Okay, so what we have to do is basically there is an app. Let's make it app. Okay, the next would be div and class name container. Okay, and close it. Let's close it, this one. I hope at this point you understand. Let's make a heading and the div, there is another div and the class name would be heading text, ADING, heading underscore TEXT, text. Okay, just close it. And in this we have to write h1, and the class name would be heading 1. Okay, and simple calculator. I hope this is a very basic thing. And let's type a paragraph tag. Okay, and the class name would be heading 2. Okay, and you can write any message in this paragraph tag. I'm writing calculate your simple interest easily. Okay, so I know it shows warning, but we can fix this. Okay, I think we have already done from this. Like, let's watch the output of this application first. And as you can see, it's looking not so cool. Let's fix this border also first. Okay, let's go to the index app.js. Okay, and just also let's define star and m0 and okay, and also let's type box sizing be border box. Okay, let's see it's fixed or not. Okay, now it's fixed. Okay, so the next would be next part. Let's jump into this website again, and let's copy some of the things from this application. Okay, this website. So like we are making this one, so just we are copy the UI part only, and the logic part I will explain each and everything. Okay, so just copy the total amount card and just paste it over here. Let's go to the app.js, and after heading just paste it. Okay, let's see. Okay, now it's working perfectly. Okay, so let's jump to the form part, and this is the starting point of the form, and the ending point of the form would be this. You can also jump to this website, like this is the React MUI core library website. So you can click on I'm using this text field. Go to the text field, and there are different types of forms inputs available. Like I'm using this outline. Okay, I'm using this form. You can also use this field standard. So there are different types of inputs. A basic text field is also available. So I'm using this text field ID, which has an outline basic. Okay, so what you have to do is just copy it. Okay, and the next thing would be what you have to do. Just if you copy this one, so you have to install, you have to import there. Like if I'm using outline, okay, the outline basic text field. So just I'm giving an example. Just copy this one. Here, as you can see, I'm just copy this one and just go to this and just paste it. Okay, so as you can see, there is a red line in the bottom. Text field is not defined. So how can we define it? Just we have to import this thing. So we have to import these things. So we are using text field, and we also use the button also. So we just copy these three. Okay, So just define at the top of the app.js. Let's see it's working fine or not. Okay, it's compiling, and as you can see there is a red. Okay, I think we haven't defined this cal sum also, and we haven't defined handle click function also. So we define this. Okay, for now, for a while, just remove these things also. Okay, we just understand, so remove it. Okay, also remove this one. Okay, I hope. And the next thing, I think we have to, I think, let's jump into the output part. Let's see and refresh it. So we have to define these function first. So let's define first. Okay, so what we have to do is basically, let's cite this one. So we have to define these two function first. Okay, so add the, let's define it const. Okay, cal sum, just copy it, copy, and the cal sum, paste it. Okay, and we are using arrow function. We expecting the event. Okay, we have to define it. And the next thing is handle click is not defined. Let's also define this one. Okay, const, we are expecting event, and there is an arrow function. It is, we have already defined it. Okay, let's see the output. Oh, now it's working fine. I hope you like the UI. Again, as you can see, this is working fine. Okay, so it's working. So let's jump into the logic part. So defining, so we have already defined, like, this is the dev1. Okay, input field, and we have defined it is in a type of number, and there is an ID of outline basics. It is from MIUI, and we have labeled it like principal amount, and there is a variant which is comes with the MUI. So the next step would be, we have to collect the input. Suppose if you're writing like this, suppose I'm writing 10,000. So we have to grab these values, okay, from the rate, from the principal amount, and the time. So what we have to do is basically, we have to define on change method. Okay, on change method, which works on and the set the amount and the set the number 1, num2, and num3, and we targeting the values. Okay, so what we have what we can do is basically, we are just doing defining the values first. Okay, let's define it num1 or this is okay. So is it, so just copy, this is a num1. Okay, and the same thing just copy in these text fields. Okay, okay, now this is the number 1. Okay, and what is num1, num2, and num3, and let's change the name of these, because we have now 3 input fields, and each input field have their values. Okay, so I think this would be 3. Let's grabbing the input values from it, click on change. Okay, now let's define event. Let's define an event. Okay, and just set num1. I think we have already defined it. Let's grab the input 1 values. So how can we grab? So we are grabbing the input 1 values. Okay, so the last step would be you have to event, like we are expecting the event dot target dot values. Okay, so that's it. We have to set the num1 and grabbing the inputs values like this. So we have to define this thing. So in a similar way, we have to like just copy this one. This thing helps us to grabbing the inputs, okay, values. So this is the num1 for num1, and we are defining num2 for num2. Okay, so also just define over here. So like this, there is a 3 on chain because we have 3 input. So this is for num1, num2, and this is the last one for num3. Okay, so I think set add, okay, we are using in the logical part. Okay, so we have used these, and let's see the output how it looks like. Okay, so let's jump into the output. Okay, now it's working fine. Okay, let's refresh it. Okay, so the form is working fine and button is also working fine. Okay, so let's jump into the logical part. What we have to do, just grabbing these inputs, fields, values, and by calculating these 3 principal, rate, and time spent amount, and just the total simple interest, just show it here. Okay, let's jump into the coding part. So here is a function of to calculate the principal. We can say that I'm making this as a sum. You can also make you can write any name for it. Okay, so let's jump into. So what we have to do is basically we have to prevent this from e dot prevent default. Okay, function. How it's working, why we writing this, basically because suppose if you are going to this. Okay, just refresh it. Okay, like if we are writing anything, suppose just calculate it, it's a refresh, but now it's not refreshing. Okay, so that's why we are using event dot prevent default. Okay, so that our form, after submitting the form, it's not refreshing. Let's jump into the logical part. Okay, and let's see our output. So here the first thing we have to, suppose if the user when click on it, okay, so there is an alert box pops up. Okay, for this we have to write a logic for it. So let's jump into the VS code and writing a logic for it. Okay, suppose if num1, this logic is very simple, is equal to 0, or num2 is equal to again 0, and the num3 triple equal to 0, then what we have to do is basically we have to show an alert. Okay, in this alert we have to write like, please enter your PRT values. Okay, I'm using short form. You can also use your like principal, rate, and time for it. Okay, and if else, we have to else, what you have to do is just else let add. We are using this. Okay, let's add, and here we just making our logic for it, like for the calculating the principal amount. What we have to do is we have to write a formula for it, like we have to num1 and num2 okay, num2 okay, and num3 divided by 100. Okay, and in the JavaScript, what we have to do is basically we have to parse these things first, because we have to parse in int format. So we have to parse it first to make it int. Okay, let's see, and we have to close it like this. Okay, because we have to parse these values. So parse int. Also here also I forgot it, sorry for that. Okay, so let's parse it. So now I think it's working fine. Parse it. Okay, so the value of these things automatically comes to this add, and let's console this. Okay, console.log, and we have to add. Let's see. Okay, so just by inspecting this simple interest form, just open it and just type the values over here, like 30,000, and interest would be 10% and time would be 2. Let's calculate this. Yeah, I think 6,000. I think it's working fine. Okay, so I think our application is working fine, and let's see it's which type of this value is. So what we have to do to check the values of this thing is, so we have to use a type of function to check type of. Okay, so let's see, we just put it in type of function. Let's see. Okay, is there any error? Yeah, console.log. Yeah, just refresh it, and again I'm writing 20,000. Rate would be like 10%, and time would be 2. And let's calculate. So the type of this it's a number. So I think you understand why why I have write the parse int values over here. Okay, so according to your functionality, you can write or change it. Okay, so let's update the set values. Okay, so we have write the add values, and let's update this 0 value for we are using in this like here and this one. Okay, so it's update. After updating, it's automatically update here, like we just update these values. So what we have to do is basically we have to set add this function, just call this function and just put parse. Okay, and int, parse int, and just add out this value. This is the value. Okay, add, and just this value we have to pass over here. So this is our total page. Okay, our principal page, not total simple interest. Like we have to calculate it, and it shows it here. So we have bind it over here. Okay, and just save it. Let's see it's working fine or not. Let's jump into the output and just refresh it. Okay, let's see, like I'm writing here 50,000. Okay, and just type 20%, and time would be 1 year. Okay, let's, if I click on it, calculate. So now it's working fine. I think our add or total simple interest would be here. So I think you understand the logic behind it. I hope you understand the logic, how it's working. Okay, so, and the next thing would be, let's fix this one. Suppose if someone click on reset button, it automatically refresh the whole page. Okay, and the values would be automatically 0. So let's create this logic for this. Okay, so how can we do that? Basically you have to just the initial value, you have to just update the initial value. Like the initial value of add would be 0. If it would be 0, then it automatically, whenever someone click on it, like someone click on it, like this is the reset button. As you can see, this is the reset button, and there is an on click function over here, and we define this function. Just just press Control and click on it. You can jump to that function, and in this function we have to write set add. The initial value would be 0. If someone click on reset, it automatically jump to this function, and the initial value would be 0. And after 0, each value, we have to refresh the whole window. So what we have to write, window dot location, okay, window dot location and dot reload, okay, and call this function. So let's check our application. Just refresh it, okay, and then just type 20, like I'm here writing this one, 10%, and here 2. Just calculate it. It's working fine. Let's click on reset. Now as you can see, the whole value would be 0, and our application automatically refresh it. I hope you understand the logic till that point, okay? And please subscribe and comment if you have any queries regarding this application, building this application. You can also follow my source code, which I have already given you on the description box, or you can jump to my website www.ziontutorial.com. So I think you like this video, okay? And is there anything left? I think not. We have successfully completed this project. I hope you like this video. So please subscribe for more videos. Like in the next video, we are making a counter application. So please like it. If you like this video, then I will definitely make that video. I know it's a quite long video, but you will learn a lot.